Get a load of this guy.
Take my shoes and walk a mile, something that you can't do.
YouTube, what is going on, man? It is your boy Benji, and we're back with another episode of the QrewCast. If you are new, please don't forget to subscribe, man. Follow. Audio coming very soon. The more consistent we get, for real. But yeah, I got my boy with me.
Yo, what's going on? What's going on?
It's KY in the building. Of course, Benji. I mean, we're gonna get into it, man. KY, what's life been like for you, man?
Man, whole lot of working.
Yeah, not for real.
Staying out the way. Just trying to get to it, bro. Been trying to catch my TV shows and my entertainment in there while I can, but it's tough. I've been missing out on a lot of music, a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows, just entertainment in general. I've been trying to keep up with all the current events, but it's too much.
Nah, yeah, it's a lot going on. I actually just found out I had a coupon with because T-Mobile actually has free Netflix, so I just figured that out just now.
No damn.
And I had to go ahead and get my own Netflix started because, yeah, if you ain't know, I was on the family plan, man, and my mom, Dukes, was just not going for it no more, so finally had to get my own joint. But yeah, I really just got on it like literally today, and I just caught up. I just watched that movie. What is it called? With the guy with the light-skinned dude with the eyes.
Michael Ealy?
No. There's another guy that everybody been talking about on social media. It was a movie. I saw the trailer on like Twitter a while back, and I didn't know it actually dropped. Mm-hmm. So I just got on Netflix. I think it was like last night, actually, and I think today I watched it. But it was the guy. Gosh, it basically was a movie where the police were chasing after the old dude, and I want to say it's called like Rebel X. I'll find it in a second. But yeah, police were chasing dude, and he was wrongfully accused. Mm-hmm. Went through the whole process and found out the whole city of police was corrupt. But it was a big trending movie.
I think I know what you're talking about. I saw it on socials. I haven't checked it out yet. There's a lot of stuff on Netflix that I really want to watch. I switch back and forth from like every streaming service like every couple of months, and I just let all those TV shows and movies build up. Right now I'm on my HBO Max kick. I'm trying to catch up on Game of Thrones. I know everybody talking about House of Dragons and everything, and how crazy that's been getting. So I'm trying to finish Game of Thrones right now. I think Shogun is on HBO Max too, I want to say. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to finish that. There's something else that was good on Netflix. I can't remember what it was called, but it was like Asian Empire kind of fighting base, gang lore kind of stuff as well. It was really tough though. Like that, I ain't gonna lie. We got some really good TV shows coming out, and obviously, like everybody, the cliches, power, and everything. Yeah, they're going crazy.
You know what? Speaking of HBO Max, I actually need to watch the Penguin show. I heard like people were saying really good things like about the first episode. Saw a lot of people talking about it online. And I mean, I've not to toot my own horn. I did meet one of the representatives actually, literally right under the CEO for DC, and she was telling me that was gonna be a show I was gonna have to watch. I did watch the new animated Batman that came out. Mm-hmm. It was like where they kind of redid and retold and reimagined a lot of the characters. Like it was kind of, but it was like, you know, Batman kind of following after the animated series where you know, Mark Hamill's the Joker and etc. The one that really kicked off the whole DC animated wave, but it's kind of set in that time period. It was weird. It was weird for sure. I mean, I ain't trying to spoil it for everybody, but plenty of people already talked about their reviews online. But like, I saw the first couple episodes. It's like they rewrote a lot. Like I said, Penguin is not like a woman, and it's kind of like stuff like that. Like they kind of reimagined a lot. So I was like, I'm really rocking with it. But I did kind of like the direction they did go, at least making the Penguin a woman. But now that Penguin TV show is out, I'm gonna have to check that.
Yeah.
So they both come out with Avatar the next season. I saw the little trailer for. Mm-hmm. I didn't watch the trailer, but I saw the little sneak preview of like Toph.
And aren't they coming out with a animated movie or something?
Of Avatar?
I believe so. It's another movie.
Oh, I think you're right.
I don't know how close or when it's actually gonna happen, but I do believe they're coming out with a movie soon.
I think you're right. I think I did hear about that. That what's it called? It's coming out with season 2 too. Wednesday.
I never watched the first one.
I ain't gonna lie.
It was good.
I binged it. Yeah, it was good. Oh, that joint was actually good. If you like, you know, Adam's Family and whatnot, yeah, it's good. But it's good, like little twists with like, you know, a bunch of different. Like, I mean, it's like I feel like you kind of mess with the vibe. Like it's like Percy Jackson vibe.
Yeah.
Kind of, but like a little darker. So I mean, yeah.
I watched bits and pieces of the original, but
Yeah. So I think it's some good comedic moments, but I think it's really good actually. The whole story for the first season is pretty good. Yes, actually there were some trailers that dropped too for a couple movies that I'm interested in. Speaking of, I mean, particularly when talking about DC and MCU. MCU is back with a couple other movies. They're trying. I know.
yeah, it looked fire. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Venom, the third Venom's coming out.
Yeah.
A lot of people are excited that it's supposed to have Null in it, the king of all the symbiotes. And then a movie I'm actually really excited to see is Craven.
Oh, Craven? Yeah, I'm glad he's actually finally coming to screen. For real. I really want to see Secret Wars. That one's gonna be crazy.
Oh yeah, I heard
I feel like that one's gonna be crazy.
I've been trying to like stay away from watching like many trailers and previews, but I did hear a lot of reception about that. I did watch the Craven trailer, and I ain't gonna lie, I did watch the Venom one.
Yeah, like I couldn't help the certain ones because like Deadpool, they showed all of them right before.
Yeah. So I was excited. Craven's supposed to have a lot of, I guess, Sinister Six members in there too, though.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to have Chameleon in there. I saw the Rhinos is in there. I do find it interesting, especially since, you know, the Venom movie's coming out. It's like they had this whole side Spider-Verse with no Spider-Man and all his characters again movies. So I'm kind of interested to see what they're going to do. Of course, they talk about, what's it called? It's coming out too. What's the brother's name? The Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And they got Downey back as Doctor Doom. So, I mean, that's going to be interesting too.
I like that. And I like that they kind of like branch it out into different comics and different universes. And
Yeah, the universal thing. And that was kind of my complaint about, I mean, I'm starting to pile it off early hating, but the Deadpool movie, man, that was kind of my complaint. Is that like, bro, this whole, I felt like once Marvel opened up that universe of having multiple realms and universes and possibilities, it just kind of started to water everything down now. Because now we're going to have a universe where Tony Stark is Doctor Doom, which obviously is not the true Doctor Doom. You're going to have Victor Von Doom playing him, but by facial features, you're going to recognize who that is. Same reason we had that same thing pop up in, let's say, for example, Deadpool, when we had Chris Evans popped up and we thought, oh, it's Captain America, but it was not Captain America. It was him as, you know, Johnny Storm, the Human Torch.
But I ain't going to lie. Personally, I liked it because it was like an attempt at bridging all the comics and all the other universes and all the early movies all together. Even though it's like it's pretty much impossible to be able to do it like successfully on screen, just because like the way that they did it and how bad it was Fox, right? Like kind of screwed over the movies and screwed over the franchises. It's really tough for them to bounce back. But I think like that was a good step in the right direction.
But that's what I think. Is it something you think that now they have all these things going on, I feel like there's gonna be so many meaningful scenarios or meaningless scenarios. Like for example, Wolverine dying was like, man, a great way to end the career of Wolverine. But now they're talking about him coming back into another movie.
Yeah, but I feel like if we're being honest, we all knew he wasn't gonna actually die.
I kind of did feel like that.
Like when we saw Logan, because even at the end, like let's be honest, if we were actually paying attention to the movie, the rocks and everything were still moving around.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Like he really wasn't dead. We knew we were gonna see him in another movie. So it's like I feel it, but it's like, bro, it kind of defeats the purpose because they did it one time already with the one dude, Darwin, in the other X-Men movie where they were younger, and the dude was literally he was supposed to be able to adapt to anything, which I get it. It's all based on how you conceptualize it in the movie. Like he could have morphed into pure energy or whatever, but it's like, bro, they can't keep screwing over the dudes that are supposed to be invincible and keep killing them off.
I do feel like, and I think I talked about that in the last pod, but I felt like, bruh, Marvel hasn't been creative. Yeah. And I think that them using this multiversal thing is just another way for them to branch off of just rewriting stories that have already been told and bringing back characters that have already been, finding them commercial success. Because, like, for example, I mean, Phase 4 was not very successful. And obviously, since you lost your major characters, Iron Man, Hulk, Spider-Man, etc. So I feel like them trying to bring back a lot of the characters they've been trying to bring back is just, like, for example, Deadpool, you had to have all these pop moments where it's like, oh, shoot, this guy's in the movie in order to kind of drive commercial success. So I feel like they've been losing a lot of creativity in that realm. And then, like I said, like a lot of the new movies coming out are in a universe where there's no Spider-Man. So you just bringing back Spider-Man's characters, which maybe will lead to Spider-Man coming back. And they keep redoing Fantastic Four. And so, like I said, don't get twisted. I like a lot of these characters, particularly my favorite movies are gonna be the X-Men.
Yeah.
I like a lot of the X-Men characters. Even aside, obviously, Spider-Man's my favorite in the Marvel universe, but I do like a lot of the X-Men characters. And I do think that they did a lot of those movies pretty well. I had to say, I actually like following along with it, but yeah, they try to link everything up now. It's gonna be a little bit weird, I would think. I even like that movie, The New Mutants. That was a good one. That came out like a year or two ago.
It was Marvel?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I saw that one.
Yeah. And I think it was good because it brought in and introduced a bunch of characters that weren't like main stage.
Yeah. That's another thing that I like. I'm liking
They
with
told
some
it
of
well.
these new ones. Like, we're getting to see characters who are not usually on screen or that are in the comics within a lot of these like events and a lot of these fights and battles that are going on, but we just don't ever get to genuinely see them come to screen. Like I do like that we're going to see a lot of these real life depictions of these characters, like Moon Knight and all these other movies are getting their spin.
I like the Moon Knight show. Yeah, that was pretty good. They're talking about, I think, doing a Deadpool movie too. Not Deadpool, Daredevil.
Yeah.
I mean, his show was legendary. I like that they had a little cameo in Spider-Man. Which, you know, if you do like the original Stan Lee comics early on in Daredevil's comics, does he actually starts to intertwine along Spider-Man, because obviously all these heroes live in New York, so it's just like they're gonna run cross paths. But obviously a lot of his villains intertwine with Spider-Man's villains, like Kingpin. You know, they even have series with Bullseye, etc. So I mean, I am excited about that. I mean, even like I think what is it like super early on in the Fantastic Four, they actually meet Spider-Man. So in like early Stan Lee comics, there's a lot of intertwining. So I do like it for that purpose, but I just don't like they kill off a character just to bring it back and be like, oh, it's another universe. Haha. That's kind of corny, but I guess in the DC realm of things, like I said, going back to the Penguin show and going back to characters that are in their own universe, the Joker has another movie coming out with Harley Quinn, and my take on that is I'm kind of confused at this point. I feel like the first movie was good. Maybe I have to watch the second
about the
one.
Joaquin Phoenix one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I'm interested to see the second one, because I feel like the first one, the way it was told, it did introduce a new light to the Joker.
Yeah.
And it did kind of make you question it, because the way it was told was so well, because it made you think, was this reality, or was this just the Joker telling you his own twisted version of how the world turned against him, so now it tries to justify what he does. But I think the second movie still looks like he's just still being crazy and just running around, not necessarily becoming this evil mastermind that he is. And the Joker, I mean, at the end of the day, he's a clown, but I mean, dude is like genius. Like a lot of his plans, his motives, they're actually driven, by a lot of genius. Which I'm kind of interested to see. We're going to see a movie where he's just running around like laughing, or is he going to actually do anything?
Yeah, there's no way he's outsmarting Batman for all these years without having any type of intelligence behind him.
No, yeah.
I do want to I hope they kind of take some of the aspects where they kind of really dug into his mind, so to speak, and they kind of really showed what was really driving him, and that he wasn't just or kind of depict him not just as a senile bastard.
No, I just
much more.
And the world did me wrong, so now I'm just doing people wrong.
Yeah.
But to the level that the Joker was doing things, I still don't think that
it's not
just
enough.
the world being against you is not enough to justify it.
So hopefully,
there's
gonna be some type of context and foreshadowing with the Harley Quinn crossover or something.
I'm excited. I really hope that they do more movies, and we find the Robert Pattinson world crossover, because like I said, I think that's top 5 superhero movies that's in there. I think
I gotta watch that.
That movie. You didn't watch the Batman?
I started. I didn't finish it. I'm halfway through.
Bruh, yeah, top 5, bruh.
Yeah, wow.
It's long, but yeah, when you really watch it, it's freaking good. And it stands the time, with Christopher Nolan. I think that's why I like it too, because there's a lot of layers to it, and the cinematography in that movie is amazing, first of all. But then, there's a lot of layers to it, and I think everything works so well in terms of all the character developments and how they all intertwine one another, because that movie has 4 villains in it. I mean, Catwoman, Penguin, the Riddler. No, it's Two-Face. No, Two-Face is not in it. You have the Falcons. You have plenty of mob bosses, and but the way they all intertwine and work amongst one another is crazy, and you can see the corruption of Gotham in the movie. I feel like it's really, really, really well told. Pacing is very good. Even though it is long, it is a really good movie. And so I'm excited to see how they will continue forwards. And I think like they told everything almost perfectly. Like there's an element of realism to it. I think that's why I like that in the Christopher Nolan movie so well, because obviously superheroes telling it is like it's gonna be what it's gonna be. But I think finding a way to ground Batman a little bit in realism and make his villains so strategic, but also victims of their environment that they're in. Like, you know, like of course Catwoman, and I mean we all know where like a lot of her motives are. She's not just a petty cat thief, or not. I'm sorry, not a petty cat burglar, but in that movie, you know, she's trying to pay bills. She's trying to get back at those that did her wrong. Even I mean, like in the movie, I mean, it's a surprise, but I mean, not really. It was Falcone's her dad, which is of course one of the mob bosses, and it's almost like she's trying to start her own for herself, and it seems like she's getting on a good path, even though she's trying to get out of this rut that she's in. It's like that evil can't really stop chasing her. So it's like you watch her story and her development as an individual. Of course, while I like you have Pattinson in there, Bruce Wayne, and you see his development where like Bruce Wayne is not like the flamboyant party boy that you normally see, but he's like still grieving. Like this is when he just came back to Gotham, where he's just like figuring out like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I'm not trying to be in the public light, and he's figuring out the Batman, like the process, and so there's a lot going on. I think really good movie, I think, and so I'm excited to see what that will look like in movie number 2. And I think they dropped some like teasers, like of like it being blues. People are speculating like Mr. Freeze or whatever, but they're talking about possibly bringing out even some like lesser known villains. So I'm excited about that.
I gotta catch that one.
No, yeah, definitely, bro. Like I said, top 5. I think it's up there with even the Christopher Nolans. Like it could take a couple of them down. I think it is good.
Have you ever watched the Gotham TV show?
Yeah,
That one looked really good too.
yeah, I binged it.
Dang.
Like I watched. I think I always had it on my list for a long time. I ended up just watching 1 or 2 episodes, and I just knocked out like a few seasons.
Dang.
So it was pretty good. I like that too, actually. Obviously, kind of it's funky with like if you really look at the timeline.
Yeah.
But still pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I can go back into some trending news. Of course, one of the big things a lot of people were talking about, and particularly in the entertainment world, one of 2, I would say, is going to be, of course, Kendrick Lamar is gonna be performing at Super Bowl in New Orleans, which a lot of people believe that Lil Wayne should have been there in his place, and I felt like it was either the powers that be that stepped in, or what do you think? As an avid Lil Wayne man.
I think it's a really layered thing. Like you gotta, it really, it becomes this thing because it's like, is it a conversation of, do we want Wayne to be up there, or was he actually supposed to be up there, or like, did he genuinely deserve it, or you know, like, is it statistic things, or is it the most hot artist thing? I don't know, but you got to look at it from a more realistic scale. Like, I don't think Wayne was even on the list for people to be considered. With all due respect, though, like, I'm not trying to, like, I'm gonna be advocate. I'm going to see it from all points of view. Yeah, I do think, like, with all due respect, having Jay-Z as, you know, the guy who's appointed to choose the Super Bowl acts, and it being in New Orleans, I do think that was a missed opportunity, because with all due respect, like, if you hip to New Orleans music and you hip to New Orleans culture, like, you know, all the hot boys is home now. Yeah. Feel me? They could bring Master P on there. There's so many other people they can bring on there. Webby, Boosie. Like, they can really turn up. Like, everybody's home. So they could have, like, a crazy show, but it's also, I don't know. Kendrick's been going crazy. Yeah. And it just, like, I understand him wanting to play to that factor, but I don't know. Like, I just think, with all due respect, I think he might want to bring them out, or like have a segment where they come out, just because, you know, you are in New Orleans. Like, it only makes sense. Yeah. And I know they've been in New Orleans, 10 times prior to this. But with all due respect, they didn't have an urban guy that was appointed to the Super Bowl show. And we knew it was, it was all gimmicks and whoever was the hottest artist. And with all due respect, now you've kind of been following the trend of paying artists homage. Like Usher had his the other year. Mary J. Blige, Kendrick, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem all just did the Cali one a couple years back. I mean, I feel like it was a great opportunity to do the same thing.
That's true, I think.
And then with doing like a Lil Wayne in a Hot Boys or whoever, whatever TV show, because you can bring Manny Fresh out as well, but you get the possibility of Drake coming out, Nicki Minaj coming out. Like, that's a gargantuous show.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know if it's just like a, we got to pick a side type of thing, or like, cause I feel like people are trying to make it something that it's not.
No.
Or I don't know, it could be something that I don't think it is, but I think it's a weird situation.
Yeah, I think it's kind of, like you said, it's pretty layered.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is, and I mean, even Lil Wayne spoke about it when he kind of spoke about, I guess, how hurt he was about it, but it was like, I think a lot of it was just maybe a missed opportunity in his end, like in terms of business thing. Because I think at the end of the day, a lot of this stuff goes into, like, the wheels start spinning, like, you know, like I said, I mean, now, I mean, it's, you know, September and we're talking about a Super Bowl. So, I mean, I think the wheels start spinning a long time ago. Like, as soon as Usher finished his last step, I think they were like, all right, what do we do next? Yeah. And it was probably before that. They were lining it up, you know, logistics-wise. How are we going to get this set up? I think, like, Lil Wayne just kind of been out. Maybe business end of things. He hasn't really had too many drops. Hasn't really, I wouldn't say, been focused on, you know, trying to do promotions, getting, I guess, his face in the scene. I mean, like I said, and I was something I was listening to, like, and Joe Budden offered a good perspective into that too. Like, I mean, if you look at it, Usher had already had like the 2 albums going into Super Bowl. He was already on press run. He had the show lined up in Vegas already, so it was extra boom. They was able to re-perform in Vegas again. So I think it was already on the business end of things. They were cooking up. And then, of course, Usher is a legend, but, of course, Wayne is a legend, too. Yeah. But I think in regards to the public eye, Usher was already cooking it up to the point of it making sense. But, like you said, if you look at a lot of the other artists that when they paid homage, I think it was a collaborative effect where they were able to do, like you said, Cali. But, like, if you even look at it, Kendrick's already been there. He was there. So, you know, it's not like it could have already been like foot in the door, like, all right, let me get my own show kind of deal and run it up in that realm. I think the Super Bowl is always like an interesting thing I always look at too, because it's like, I mean, they're going to be in a city that of an actual existing team too that won't be like the Saints are not going to be there. Saints are not going to be at Super Bowl. Yeah. So I think you kind of run that risk too, because while it is in New Orleans, you might not have a lot of people that actually are from New Orleans there.
But I mean, you can't say that because, I mean, they always come out with all due respect. Oh yeah. And especially if you have New Orleans culture or for me, whatever it is at the forefront of it. Like when they came to LA, they had for me LA culture at the forefront of it. Like they I mean, obviously LA was also in the Super Bowl though. That was different. But I don't know. It's kind of rough. Yeah. I do understand. Like, the Saints are definitely not gonna be in there. No. But you are gonna be in New Orleans. So I'm not saying just because you're in New Orleans, you automatically have to pick a New Orleans artist or a Louisiana artist. I'm just saying, with all due respect, you the guy that's in charge right now. You know people are looking for an obvious thing. Not saying you have to make him a headliner, but a nice little segment, because Kendrick, and that's Kendrick's favorite rapper. Like, I just think it's a really awkward situation to be put in, I guess, because it's like, for one, this is Kendrick's favorite rapper. This is like somebody that Kendrick puts as one of his muses for music, his biggest inspirations. He has albums and songs paying homage to Wayne. Yeah, it's like you're not gonna put him on the show with him, or I mean,
and that's one thing I was gonna say. Who's to say that we wouldn't know that he wouldn't be out there?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, you know that's what I think
I think this was part of the outrage, was the build up to start. Like I say, the business end of the thing, I think that was part of what was to start. The topic around Lil Wayne, and get people to be like, all right, can Lil Wayne reopen the discussion of Lil Wayne, which ended up having people re-dive into his music and get re-acclimated with him.
That's what I think too. Like, I think people were trying to make it like this thing where it was like, You gotta see, y'all can see it. It's obvious. Like it's clear as day. Jay-Z done chose a side. He don't rock with Drake or Young Money or all of them. It's like, bro, I don't think it's that deep. I just think, with all due respect, Kendrick is kind of like took the year by storm. I think from a business aspect, it kind of does make sense. And from whatever they've been trying to push, just as far as music, yeah, I mean, you've been seeing them. Like, if it's not Kendrick, it's Drake. If it's not Drake, it's Kendrick.
Yeah.
If it's as far as music industry is concerned. So I don't know. I feel like they just trying to run with the forefront guy.
Yeah, could be that too. It's just keeping them hot.
Yeah.
Alive.
And it's like, with all due respect, I'm a Wayne fan. Like, that's my favorite rapper. But I kind of like immediate thought was, okay, Wayne doesn't also he also doesn't have the most clean discography.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to think about too. Is because you have to. Not only is it like paying homage to New Orleans, but we're gonna be on national TV. And like I said, it's like we were talking about before, bro. When they mess up in the Super Bowl, bro, that has big implications.
Yeah.
So I do agree with like you said about the clean, having a clean record. And
But I also think he has enough of a discography where that wasn't be an issue.
No, yeah. I think you could easily cut out and just have him say a milli, and then like go to the next song. You know what I mean? Like you could blend that nicely. But I think that's gonna be the logistics end of things because, like you said, it's realistically it's a 15-minute show. So it's like, how do we figure out a way to choreograph, have the cameras right, and logistics have everybody there at the right time. So it's gonna be interesting, I guess, to see because at the end of the day, that's what most people even tune into Super Bowl for.
Yeah,
I think it spikes like right around then and the end of the game. So that's gonna be interesting. And keeping things music, something that was interesting to me. Funny enough, there was a lot of outrage online about this individual. For some reason, I don't know why people dislike her and like love her at the same time. But yeah, Tyla just won another award, and a lot of people were online talking about how they dislike her. Even Joe Budden went on a whole rant talking about how he does not like the girl because of how she presents herself. I guess a lot of people, and I guess a lot of the conversation was about possibly her being legitimately African and maybe not presenting herself as somebody who's struggling. And like she comes off as bougie or whatever, but like that's her. I mean, she is from South Africa. I mean, they ain't struggling too bad. A majority of people in South Africa, there is a lot of wealth in Africa too. I like a lot of people forget about that. They just think that everybody from Africa is like gathering like dirt for food or whatever. So I think that's an interesting thing. But like there was a moment in where she accepted an Afrobeats award and she was like, "Oh, I can't carry it," and people were like upset about that. People were like, "Oh, why can't she carry it? She's so bougie." And I don't know I really don't know what people were actually mad about. Like I said, to the whole point where Joe Budden went on a whole rant talking about her, and there was mad discourse online on people actually being upset about who Tyla is and how she carries herself. Oh, I will say, a lot of this did probably also stem after her having the whole hiccup with her talking about being colored too. So I guess a lot of that does go.
I think it's just she kind of put herself in a hole.
Yeah.
And I don't think like it was any legitimate reason for anybody to change the business. Like I think for me it happens is journalism, or for me you just might not have been prepared. Your team might not have prepared you. Like media training, it's new artist nonsense. Like it is what it is. But I think at this point it's like people are waiting for an opportunity. They're like, okay,
just
I don't
bring
like
her down.
Oh, I don't like what you did right there. She's at one of those points where it's like, okay, you either got to just roll with the punches or just like do it.
Yeah.
And that's like I feel like that's one of those new artist nonsensical things.
No,
Like people are just for some reason they just if they don't love you they're going to find every type
Find
of
a reason to get upset.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I think that's what it is too. Because I mean, a lot of people call her a plant, which in some sense,
it makes sense. I ain't gonna lie. Like if you're going to attack it from that aspect, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Because like with all due respect, while she is an Afrobeats artist and she does make Afrobeats, her music is genre pop. Mm-hmm. And I think like that is a meticulous way for her to get more streams and get more. You know, obviously that's what they do.
And that's why I like to draw input in too. That's why I can argue the plant thing. Now, granted, I've been a Tyla fan like when she had like 100K on the gram.
Yeah.
I've been paying attention to her music and everything like that. I'm like I said, not the biggest fan, but I've been paying attention to who she was and her growth. I was like, okay, this girl's pretty too. And she's talented. I mean, like seeing her like when she first dropped her first song, I was paying attention. Now her meteoric growth, I mean, I could see it because it does happen. You can't just have a song that just does take a lot of people by storm. But in her case, it was definitely probably a big push. And that's why I say carrying that forward is why I believe that there is something that happened there that was allowed to get her to push to the mainstream audience, is because she keeps getting in Afrobeats categories. She doesn't make Afrobeats music.
She doesn't.
She makes, if anything, I'm a piano. If there was anything that was her, tied from her to Africa, is I'm a piano, which, you know, the genre, that'd be like comparing salsa to reggae.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's not necessarily American, but two different areas, two different styles, two different beat patterns. So there's that. A lot of her music hints there. Then, like you said, it's really like pop music.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, which there's a thing. There's genre of African pop, African rap, etc., etc., etc. So it's like,
And she's genre pop.
but she keeps winning Afrobeats awards amongst the goats that been doing Afrobeats for years.
And that's why I say, like, with all the respect, like, you can't argue the scape that she's a plant because, like, Omalay's been going crazy.
Yeah.
Asake's been going
Yeah.
crazy. Rima's been going crazy. Whiskey's always going crazy.
Yeah.
Vito's always going crazy. Burna's always going crazy.
Yeah.
Like, Thames has been going crazy. What's her name? Tiwa Savage has been going stupid. Like, it's
There's a lot of artists.
Outpour.
Even like you said, even if you look at it like a lot of the new artists, there's a lot of new artists. Rema.
Yeah.
A lot of the Nigerians are going off. Honestly, I mean, Shally Poppy, Odudumu Black.
Manny Wells is tough.
Yeah, like, I mean, there's so in that genre there are a lot of artists, and I just find it funny. Even Ira Star for some reason keeps getting snubbed under Tyla, and like she's had a bigger song than Tyla, but for some reason, like you say, even Thames, it's just funny to me that she keeps getting grouped in this area. And that was one thing I did pay attention to her. In her speech, she did say, you know, we keep getting lumped together. And I'm on piano. I represent on piano.
Yeah.
Which I think was a little bit of her saving face. But I think at the end of the day, like you said, it's just, oh my gosh. And I can segue into this too. But I think it's just like she's the pretty girl that got thrown an opportunity. And like, granted, she's talented. She can dance, she can sing. But I think she got thrown an opportunity and a lot came her way and she just going with the flow, riding the wave. And there's a lot of people behind the scenes doing things to make her work. And she's just like, I don't know what's going on, but I'll go with it. Like you said, the whole color thing, when she didn't know how to necessarily express herself, in relation to how America would view you, when, like you said, you have a whole genre and where you in a fan base in a continent that's bigger than America, bigger than the United States, bigger than North America. But obviously, if you're trying to go global, you have to touch in with America's base, particularly if you're going to be pop. And I say that this is interesting to me because it likens to me to Ice Spice, which on the other end of things is somebody who I believe is also a plant that blew up after one song. And because I mean, she had like the one song, I forget what it was, she was in New York walking in the streets talking about being dirty and was wearing the jean shorts. And then she had, I think, one more song, Love Song, and then it was Munch, and that was it. She took off. Just a pretty girl that landly had TikToks and is now excelled into fame, but she does not have the talent that Tyla has. And I found it interesting because I said it was something funny to me because, you know, I don't know if you know, but she went viral like a week or two ago because her and that girl, Cleopatra, that was supposedly her best friend, were going at it about like, it was really just a lot of just stupidity. I think the Cleopatra girl, I listened to like one clip and I just like read some tweets about what summed it up. But the girl went on like a whole like hour of ranting about Ice Spice not being nice to her on tour and that she didn't look out to her, even though my perspective on it was Ice Spice tour and she invited you as a new act onto the tour. And while Shorty was saying, oh, I didn't have a room, like most people on tour don't. It's not your tour.
Yeah.
But I said to say, I thought it was just like Tyla because if you really look at it, have we heard Tyla in a scenario where she's actually had to address anything of relevance and that's going on in the world? You just, I'm so excited for my album, you haven't really know about her background. Like, people were questioning her blackness. People had to do a research because she doesn't really talk about it. Just, I'm from South Africa. That's really all you get from her. I think that's similar to, like I said, Ice Spice, which you haven't really heard her talk about nothing either. It's just, yeah, I'm excited for my album. I'm from New York, and yeah. And that's it. That's all we're going to give you. Because if we allow you to talk too much, you might mess up this whole facade that we got. and that we created for you. All this work we put in to create this character, you might mess it up if you open your mouth too much.
Yeah.
And so I said it to say, I think that's why I believe, long story short, that they both plants.
I think Ice Spice is for sure a plant.
No, yeah.
I think you could argue the same thing for Tyla. I just think she has more talent to back it up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
She's just actually a talented songmaker.
No, yeah.
Or songwriter, whatever it may be. But Ice, I don't know. Like, I'm not trying to be no hater. For me, obviously she has some catchy songs.
Right.
I mean, she wouldn't be in the mainstream if she didn't. But,
Right.
I mean, the proof is in the pudding. I don't really
Yeah.
say too much. I'm not gonna lie.
Nah, yeah. I mean, I don't know how long she's going to be able to ride off the drill beat joint, but I mean, hey, look, if she can do it for 20 years, hey, that's fine for her. But I mean, honestly, if she can do it for like 2 more years and just collect her bag and go back home and find somebody that's going...
It's not gonna work.
No,
like
I agree.
her music is flopping. So it's
No, yeah, it is, or like numbers-wise.
Yeah.
It's not never seen the same level of notoriety that it was. I mean, it was, I think, a screenshot we saw, like, from her, like, a year ago from where her monthly listeners are now. It's just, it's, you know.
Like, if she could maybe, like, just be a singles artist and just drop singles every now and then, but nobody's going to want to listen to a full project from her.
I think that's where that would be where she would have to be. I think that strategically they did a good job with her releases. Like, they didn't give us too much.
Yeah.
And they kept her in a small pocket. Just keep her doing a song that's going to hit on TikTok. And then I think just put her on, like, features. And then, like, I think you can have her come in and, like, be, like, I don't know, intro artist. Like, I don't know, have her say something in the beginning of the song or just, like, in the chorus or something like that. I think it'd be good because she's saying something that's catchy.
Yeah.
She's not good performing it or nothing like that, but I don't even think, like, how she even raps is not even anything that's, like, exciting. But, like I said, no, not to her. Like, whatever they did, they figured it out.
Yeah, it worked.
But
It just ain't my cup of tea.
Nah, it ain't my bad. Like I said, I'll say that, you know what I'm saying? And then the deli.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I'm saying? She got like some catchy stuff, but I mean, you just look at it like a longevity thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh my gosh. I could talk about a couple other things too that went viral this weekend that people were talking about over the last week or so. Of course, Shannon Sharpe had an IG Live incident that did numbers. I personally think it was staged.
That was an interesting point that one of my boys brought up. He was like, I think it was staged because, you know, all the claims and whatever he gets and all the slack he gets from just like the way he dresses and presents himself.
Yeah.
I personally think, I'm not saying that it couldn't have been, but I just think that's extreme. That's very extreme.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's an extreme thing to do just if you want to push off some allegations. But, I mean, it could happen because, like, hey, the thing about Shannon Sharpe and what draw people to him is that he's so personable and that people can connect with him as a real and, like, down-to-earth dude. And he doesn't really sugarcoat anything. He's exactly who he portrays himself as to be exactly who he is. So it's like, I don't know. It could play to his favor, but I don't know.
I think it would be a crazy reach.
Yeah.
Because I think Shannon Sharpe is too successful.
Exactly.
To, like, just purposefully try to leak him being with a woman when he's had a whole career in the NFL as a Hall of Famer, and since being in the NFL as a Hall of Famer, he's been caught on like camera with multiple women.
Yeah.
And goes on like, you know, talk shows and his podcasts and his interviews and talks about he has flings with women. So I would think it's a crazy reach just because a lot of people on the internet are like having speculations about the way he walks or something like that. Yeah. And saying that, you know, he plays for the other team, that he would go ahead and do something like that would jeopardize where he is in success. Like, you said, it's not like he needed it, but I would feel like it was staged as an incident because of how it happened. Like, it'd be one thing if it was like, all right, like, I look at it as, like, he had a show lined up ready, which, I mean, it's not typically difficult for him. The nightcap he typically does anyways on a pretty recurring basis. But he had a show lined up where it was the roast of Shannon Sharpe, and then, like, it was definitely milked for a few days, which, realistically enough so. I mean, I would understand that. It was a crazy event. But they milked it and, like, immediately had a sponsor, which I also don't think is an implausibility because something like that can happen. Somebody can throw it back your way. It's in the DMs. But they already had like the product ready. They already had the infomercials and the commercials ready on the show the day of the incident. Everything was lined up. They had merch ready. So I was like, oh. So I think it was just something like to test the waters, and the way that the internet responded to it, it would make sense. Now, something I thought was interesting too is that I could see a brand coming to him with an idea, hey, we looked at the engagement that you have and the type of response that you get from your audience on a day in and day out basis. What if you did this? And look, you don't have to necessarily show us you doing anything, but if we can just get the gist of what's going on, and we can throw you this much money for to promote us, like for the starting, because it wasn't like a you know, what do you call it, like a bag or anything like that that promoted him, or like a well-known brand. It was like a brand I like never really heard of. So for them, this is immense coverage and marketing that you got from you. And so I thought it was interesting because I could see that being a possibility. And the way it went down, it was like already in the midst of like hot and sweaty, like the do with the deed, phone down, catch her in the joint on live, which is, to me, I'm just like logistics, like thinking about how that would work. Unless, I don't know, but we're trying to be sneaky and get the camera in there and then and dropped it. And it just so happened to be on live. I could see him being an old man and being on live, but I don't know. I could see more of a business end of thing, how it could be kind of faked.
Yeah.
I don't believe anything any days. You know, I mean, Ruby Rose went along talking about how DRUSKI faked the whole relationship with her, which I think on this podcast I said I didn't believe that they had a relationship.
I mean, I don't think anybody in their right mind thought that it was a relationship.
Yeah. But I think indirectly Ruby Rose just exposed that she has a price, which I think we all knew that you had a price anyways. But yeah, I don't think that's an L. I think I think something probably happened with them personally, that they fell off, and she's that type of woman anyways. I mean, I've seen her when she was going back with any man that she's ever, like, there was the thing, of course, with DDG. She's had plenty of instances where she went to social media and doing weird stuff, trying to expose him to Halle, say he cheated on Halle. And when they were dating, she was dropping videos of this and that and that. And then even like when people were saying that she was speculating that she was underage in Amigos video, and she went and said that she was underage, only to people to be like, yo, you're dead lying, and pulled the timeline. And we're like, why did you even say that? Like, she's not there mentally. I don't think she is. But I wouldn't put it past her to fake that for clicks. I mean, there was even an instance where, like, I think she had a whole thing on Instagram where she was trying to expose this guy that was spending money on her on OnlyFans for that to be fake too. So I don't put it past her, because I think Ruby Rose is another one that she's not.
It just looks like she be trying to bamboozle people all the time.
I mean, I think that's like, look, baby, take advantage of your youth and your looks, because I think that's what right now. I mean, that's what people come to Ruby Rose for. Not coming to her for music or nothing like that. Just trying to see that. Just trying to see her show that thing, and yeah, that's really it. So I mean, but yeah, that's to say, I think a lot of things on the internet, man, are just easily contrived.
Yep.
And then, of course, something that probably was not something these gentlemen expected. The boys, James and Fuha, they have a popular podcast where really, I mean, they're just like a reposting meme page where they just read out like crazy tweets.
Yeah.
They do have some serious discussions up there, and I do enjoy watching the clips from their podcast.
Entertaining.
Yeah, for sure. But they went viral, I think, first because they were on an American tour and talked about Atlanta not having any baddies. And then was on the Andrew Schultz podcast laughing at some jokes that Andrew Schultz was saying, and I guess didn't stand up and become white knights. And so a lot of people are upset. Any take on
that? I didn't see the complete clips or the full segment of them being on the, what was it? Can't remember what the podcast is called, but the Andrew Schultz one.
It's actually
Flagrant, right?
Yeah, it's Flagrant Podcast is what it's called.
So I mean, and I'm not like, bro, I'm not trying to excuse anything, because there's also like clips of Akash and other people like having this conversation with Andrew Schultz, and he's just like, I mean, let's
dense.
be honest, like he's kind of dense. I'm not trying to at all like excuse any of the behavior, but like he's a white male removed from racism or removed from any of those type of tropes.
No.
So it's like it's not really something that he understands, and on top of that, he's a comedian with dark humor.
Yeah.
So it's like
you mentally got to not be there.
Yeah, and I get it because it's like
I'll laugh.
Yeah, and it's also okay. Well, he's talking about black women. Are you gonna like? But it's like, well, are these jokes or is he like genuinely trying to disrespect black women? Because I mean, like, if it's a joke, it's a joke. You know what I'm saying? But it's like do you expect somebody like every time somebody makes a joke about their people or a specific person? Hold on. You can't say that. Because I mean, like, a lot of the comedians that I watch, I'm not saying that their only comedic trope is, hey, oh, look at this black dude, or look at this white dude, or look at this. That's not all of it is. But like, if it's funny, it's funny. Bro. At the end of the day, like,
you gotta be
even
able
if it's
to.
dark. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be able to just dish it out and not be able to take it at the end of the day, because like Akash and his other co-hosts, like, they do the same thing on the podcast, or maybe just other comedians, they have the same type of banter, the same type of banter. Like, you can't make racial jokes or make jokes about certain tensions in communities that you don't understand and then not be able to dish the same backlash. And I understand that they're not comedians or anything like that, but their whole podcast is pretty much just them laughing at funny things, memes. It's just humor and things of that nature. I don't really understand why everybody be expecting every influencer or anybody that they watch to, hey, be a political warrior and oh no, you're not supposed to disrespect my Nubian queens. And I get it. Like, you do want people to stand up for black women when they're genuinely being disrespected, or anybody when they're genuinely being disrespected. But I don't really think going to a comedy podcast where every single comic on the couch is making dark humor, and I'm not
about everything.
Andrew Schultz has had a couple of run-ins where he has like made jokes that are like, okay, I don't know if you really read in the room or whatever, because there's like clips of him being on having Shane Gillis on the podcast where he's like making jabs at people with Down syndrome and things like that. So he does have like I ain't gonna say a history, but like there's instances where he has made questionable, insensitive jokes. But I think that's just one of those things where it's like, if you gonna be in dark humor, you gotta know what comes with it. You got to. Like
you're gonna have to sit in the room, and it's gonna be, like you said, the type of humor you has is the one that's kind of make you a little bit uncomfortable, but it'll make you laugh a little bit about reality. Yeah. Like, I go to comedy shows pretty frequently, and a lot of them are like, they don't allow people to videotape. One, probably because there's cancel culture every day. Yeah. But then two, just because they have themes and material that they may want to reuse, because they just gauging the audience. But the funniest shows I've probably been to is when like they kind of just rip into everything, and there's like there's no topic that you can't not touch. Like, you're not trying to like be insensitive to people. I think that those have been some of the funniest comedy shows I went to.
Yeah, I feel like as a comedian, you shouldn't be trying to walk on eggshells and be PC. Obviously, know your audience. Right. And I think that's the point that people are trying to get at, or they're trying to play, is like, know your audience. You have two black guests on your pod, and you're only making jokes about black women, or kind of jabs at being black. And I get it. I get that point, because it's like, you could have joked about anything else. Yeah. But
and I will say, in fairness, I do watch a lot of the Flagrant episodes. I have not watched their episode in particular in full. I've seen a lot of clips of this episode. Yeah. But I will say, like, for example, he had JJ Redick up there. And there's literally every time JJ Redick tries to be serious about something, he throws a jab in there, a joke about something. Yeah. And it's like I said, whether it's JJ Redick being white, or whether it's about, there's the point when JJ Redick talking about him rapping, and plenty of different things. They talk about sports. They just laugh about things that at the end of the day are maybe touchy, but at the end of the day, it's stuff that we all can understand that someone's going through, and it lends a little perspective, I guess, to what's going on. And so I think that's just his thing. I think he just tries to catch you slipping and say something stupid or something funny, or in response to something funny. So, like, I think that's just his thing. Now, there was moments in that episode with James and Fuhad, because it's just Fuhad, but he's Yoruba, and he was like, oh, so which one of the tribes is like the smartest, or which one's the biggest scammers, or the things he was saying, and then like I ain't gonna comment. So I think it's like you're trying to get them to say something dumb, and I think it's just in jest. Like, what are you gonna say?
Yeah, because I definitely, and I don't think he like was genuinely trying to be disrespectful.
No.
I think like when you're doing those type of things though, you have to be careful.
You're gonna get clipped.
Exactly, you're gonna get clipped, and on top of that, you look crazy because, like, I mean, with all due respect, like, I'm not gonna point at the obvious, but you know who you are, you know who you know you talk to, so it's gonna look a certain type of way if somebody clips it, and you know you gotta like, and if they're not super interactive with it, it's gonna look a certain type of way as well. So it's like,
I think like I said, it'll come off weird if you guys don't know. But also, he has a show with Charlamagne too, so it's like you gotta know also the type of person that you're actually trying to cast judgment on. He's on a show with Charlamagne, who's also a sicko.
I don't like. That's my thing. It's like, I think James and Fuhad should have just genuinely did more research because I mean, let's be honest. Like we've already prefaced this just on this podcast, bro. The name of that podcast is called The Flagrant Podcast. They could like the whole podcast consists of them just making insensitive jokes and insensitive jabs at any and everything.
Whenever they get the opportunity. Yeah. Bro, like, literally nobody on the couch is safe. Even the co-host. Yeah. Dude, Schultz is not
cameraman,
safe.
Like, nobody.
Literally, they be cooking on everybody. But I will say they've had months, even when, like, the Christian Fripp guys was up there, they went up there and had a little more serious episode where they were like, bro, why do y'all make these jokes about black women with y'all being black? Don't you have a high responsibility to upkeep? And, so I feel like they've had moments where they've been a little more serious and they touched on seriously pressing issues. But I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's a bunch of guys that do comedy, kind of just comedy. Like, so they all do comedy in some sense. Granted, they can be removed. But I think, like you said, I don't think it's just like, if you're not black, you can't say that. If you're not white, you can't say that. Like that, like you said, at the end of the day, that kind of takes away the point of it all. With, like you said, first of all, why do we hold James to responsibility where, like you said, they literally laugh at the dumbest things on the internet, and so they got in trouble for laughing? Probably that dumb. And I mean, the show, it's not like he was up saying, like, it's not like he was up there saying black women are terrible. He just was up there talking about, which was dumb, but he was talking about how in a interracial relationship, the clip that got people upset is that the black woman is probably physically abusive. Which, I mean, I think that, I don't know, like, would this have been something that would have been so badly looked at if you said it like another way? Like, I mean, people still have that same conversation when they're talking about Latino women, or I think any man will probably have a conversation to say, like, any race of women, if you don't do what she says, bro, you might see the worst side of her.
But I think it hits a little bit differently because it's like
two black guys.
That, but it's also just like it goes into reaffirming that caricature of a mad black woman.
Okay, could be.
Like with like, and I ain't gonna lie, like, because people be speaking about it so much, I get it, because like even when they describe a Latina being angry, it's spicy.
Yeah.
It's she's feisty. It's whatever when it I think whenever it's a black woman. But she's being a bitch. Like, it's just not the same, bro. But like, with all due respect, we do have to acknowledge that. Like,
that is true.
The picture that they're painting is not the same thing. It's like, when a female Latina woman or a Oriental woman get mad at you, she's throwing the chancla. No, when a black woman, she's dead beating on you. She's like, the picture that they painting is not the same.
That is true.
So I get it. True. Like, it's going into perpetuating a stereotype that's really not true. So I get that aspect.
And I guess it didn't help either, like I said, that they dug up the joint where James was up there talking about how, like, the dark-skinned girl used to make fun of him when he was in school. Yeah. And then, like I said, and then coupled with when he was in Atlanta on them two girls, I think the Poor Minds podcast, and he was talking about how Atlanta don't have baddies, which I think...
I just think he was just looking for something specific.
And I think... But not even... I think it was also, like...
You can't, but like
they were like, based on that scenario, bruh was out there for one. He was like, he even concluded, he was like, well, I've only been out for a day. Yeah. And I don't think that these two dudes are busy while on tour and relatively famous, or probably have at least a security guard or two walking along with them. They're not going to be in a scenario or too many scenarios where they're going to just run across baddies. Yeah. But I could understand how somebody coming from maybe another place, another region, particularly another side of the world, might. view Atlanta as this place that has so much thriving business, they would probably see it as a place where you're probably going to have just women just running around the street looking like amazing. Guys, I think we got to be honest. Is Atlanta the mecca of baddies? I think people that live in America can say no.
Yeah.
Not to say that there are not plenty of gorgeous women that live in Atlanta.
I mean, there's gorgeous women everywhere.
I think also an individual or two saying that there wasn't or was any bad, like you said, at the end of the day, it's like it's a cup of tea thing. Anyways,
Yeah.
So one, who are we to say that he did run across any baddies?
That's my
and then
thing,
two,
too.
who are we to say he ran across anything that was his type? Anyways,
Right. Like, I think that was a crazy thing for people to get on the internet and be like, oh, we know he was only looking for a specific type of woman, or we know what that means. And it's like, bro, no, you don't.
Yeah.
Because he could just literally have a specific type, or he could just be like, I'm really not trying to get on that if she's not this, you know what I'm saying? Like,
who say he ran? Who say he ran across more than 10 women?
that's what I'm saying. Like, with all due respect, if you want a business, I'm not gonna say it. Like, for me, obviously you noticing people, but like, let's be honest, we all been out with our homies or for me our friends, and you done seen for me attractive people all over. They like, well, I ain't seen nothing in here, bro. Ain't nothing, ain't hitting on nothing. Like, for me, everybody is
got their own
subjective.
cup of tea,
exactly. So it's like, if you think just because you go around in Atlanta and you see pretty people, or you see people that you find attractive, does not mean that everybody else is gonna be like, well, I'm surrounded by baddies. This is the mecca of all beautiful women and beautiful people. And it doesn't.
I think it also speaks to like just where people are, period. Because I think if you look at how people operate in like the dating space, because you have plenty of people would be like, yo, the dating pool is full of piss. What's going on? And then there's gonna have people on the other end of things that are like, you're not looking, you're not in the right place. So I think no matter what, like it's all perspective based.
Exactly.
Because it's like, well, I don't know, maybe where I am and what I do in my day to day and the habits that I have, I'm not running into people that I find to be quality or compatible with me.
Right.
And maybe you are. And so like I think it's a similar thing where he can say, bro, what I'm doing in my day to day, and maybe like I said on a business trip, my first day out here, I didn't run across anything that really caught my attention.
Yeah.
Which, like I said, there's plenty of people that live out there or in anywhere in the world that sit there and say, I ain't ran into nothing. Just because of where they are, whatever they're looking for. So I don't know. I found it's a little weird, I think. All in all, I mean, the dudes went and I think they did an apology, but then they tried to like justify, and they were like, we were like uncomfortable, which did look like they were uncomfortable, but like, I think, like I said, I thought it was unnecessary. I think you should just stood on it because it was like, bro, I'm not looking for y'all to be white knights. Anyways,
I think that's a thing that more influencers need to do. Like, I ain't gonna lie, if I was ever on there, I'd be like, bro, I'm not apologizing for nothing because with all due respect, what do I have to apologize for? Y'all niggas gonna get mad at me for laughing at a joke? You can't do that.
No,
Like,
we literally do that every day on our podcast.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't, bro. Like, you cannot make. This is something that's really weird with the internet as of late. Like, we will make modern influencers famous, and then for the very thing that we made them famous for, be like, I hate you for this. Why are you doing this? And it's like, do you remember why bro got famous? Like, Boom Gang is an example. This is off the top of my head. Like, he was going in stores and just acting a fool. He was like, bro, I don't like how you doing this. Okay, so why did y'all keep reposting it and keep acting like this was fire?
Y'all just added fuel to the fire for him to do that, and then decided that he should have some type of moral grounding or stance about himself. And then when he starts talking about, he found religion and everything, people are like, we don't care. But it's like, weren't you saying that he should have? Anyways, from the beginning.
It's literally just insane.
It don't make sense. It's just like we talk about the stereotypes. Like, you have plenty of rappers or any type of musician from anywhere that come and fit a stereotype, and then people then would expect them to do something. Like, for example, like Sexy Red is one of them. Like I say, a lot of people probably or like, oh, we feel like she should do this. Why? Y'all made her famous for doing this. Yeah. Why does she now have to have standards? At the end of the day, what she came famous for is she's going to continue to repeat and keep milking until the well ones dry. Yeah. So yeah, I don't get it. Like you said,
they be mad when people be one trick pony. It's like, bro, you only asked this pony for that one trick the entire time.
I didn't like you said. I think the whole like trying to get celebrities, influencers to have like moral stances on things. when, like you said, we never saw that or any indicator of that, I think it's pretty crazy too. Like, I mean, people will like listen to an artist's music, and then like let's just say, for example, an artist be talking about rapping and robbing and stealing, and then like people be like, oh wow, why would he do this or that? We talk about it every day.
Yeah. What do you don't understand?
Nah, yeah. So I never understood that. Like, I've always felt like I could be somebody who can consume content and also not necessarily be influenced by said content or what the individual does on a day to day. Like, I can listen to a song and it might be about whatever, and I'm like, okay, cool, and I can go about my business. That doesn't make me do anything. Like, I could be around people that might do certain things, and okay, I'm my own person. I know how to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't know, like, you know, the birds that fly together thing, I kind of feel that to an extent, but like everybody has their own brain. You know, if you're easily influenced, you're easily influenced, but like, I don't know. I mean, yes, you don't want to put yourself in situations, but nah, like I think, it's not that.
Isn't that cut and dry?
Nah, yeah, absolutely not. Of course, in sports, Caitlin Clark, I think is gonna win Rookie of the Year. I think she won AP unanimous Rookie of the Year. It's like all WNBA first team, everything. And I think they just took an L today though in their first game of the playoffs. But good enough for them, they actually did get to the playoffs. She had a crazy year, and I think even if they lose first round or they go to the second round, I think the legend of Caitlin Clark would just grow. Cause, bruh, she had a crazy year. I feel sorry for her though, low key, because that's none of like even. Talking about someone who's had to shoulder a lot. She's had to shoulder a lot. Like, people every day, it's been either somebody's hating on her or she has to be the person to speak up for this. Yeah. And then like she also has to play well. I mean, Angel Reese. I mean, I feel like the same thing. It's like they're so young, and like relevance to who like the league that they're in. It's so crazy that they've both had so much thrown their way.
Yeah, but I mean. With all due respect, like, we know the saying, bro, with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
Like, you are in the class of women that is going to completely change the scape of the WNBA.
Yeah.
Like, you are going to be the driving force behind this next generation, this next step of WNBA. Like, you are going to be the catalyst behind everybody getting pay raises and everything. Like, so, I mean, with all due respect, it comes with the territory. Especially when you're a talent of like Caitlin Clark. Yeah. Angel Reese is not at the same caliber, but she's obviously.
Like in her own right, like, you know, she's like Charles Barkley. It's like somebody made a good point. I was like, yo, like you're comparing like Steph Curry to Andre Drummond. Like, you know what I'm saying? People were like coming up with like all these crazy think pieces, like, yo, yo acting like rebound is not hard. It's like, yo, nobody's saying rebound is not hard, but like that's not that, bro. Like we like, I mean, cause like, bro, you could throw anybody on the court and they can rebound if like they have heart. And they like have a knack for it. Like, bro, if you look at it like in high school, bro, they used to put mad football players on the team because they would just go out there and kill themselves, like just so they could, like, you know what I'm saying, have that moment on the court. It's like, bro, you don't have to necessarily be good, bro, to be a contributing factor on the team. Granted, obviously Angel Reese is talented because she's a pro. Yeah, she's the like talent. But. You know, like there's a lot of good bigs in the W.
Yeah, I mean. This is not a slight or nothing. It's just,
nah, it's not though.
She could just fill up her bag, bro. Like,
I mean, she doing what she doing, bro. Like, yeah. I think like people was comparing her to Caitlin Clark.
It's like that's gotta stop, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
That dude gotta stop.
It's gotta stop.
That's crazy work. Like, her being an undersized big and what she's been able to do on the boards is tremendous. She's been able to play defense. She's bringing intensity to the game. That's something that we've been saying. I've been able to cover her since high school days, bro. I've seen her as a high school 5-star prospect. I think people also forget that she was like not trash, bro. Like,
it's going to change if we had us.
Hey, yo, no facts. They gonna say, yeah, so for y'all boys before you even get started. But seriously, I'll cover her games. I've been able to support while she was in high school. But I think that's kind of what's more irritating about it is that people are like, acting like she's trash or acting like this is like surprising that she's been able to perform. Bro, she was like ranked number 1 in high school. She was not a bum. She had offers from like everywhere.
Yeah.
So she was never a bum. She was always been in the top talks as a college athlete. Obviously, early on in her career, she didn't get to. She wasn't blowing us away, but like most freshmen are not.
Right.
So yeah, she had transfer, and since then she stole everybody's hearts, and specifically with her play. But I mean, like I said, she's still like she's not like somebody who like she won't Asia Wilson. Like, bro, she's like, it's her first year in the league. You know what I'm saying? It's her first year in the league. Like, she's a big man, bro, but she's undersized.
Yeah.
Like, granted, productivity-wise, for real, amazing what she's been able to do. But I'm laughing because it's just like so crazy. Like, why are these expectations been put on this girl that like has never been bad at basketball, and y'all acting like she just magically became bad, and then y'all acting like she's supposed to be like a whole player that she's not.
It's kind of like the Westbrook situation.
Yeah.
Like, niggas expected him to come to LA or wherever he was at and start becoming a Stephen Curry, essentially. And it's like, he was never that, bro.
No.
Like, you're expecting somebody who was never a shooter to get to a scene and be a shooter for some reason.
What happened?
Same thing with Andrew Reese. You're expecting somebody who's pretty much just been a back-to-basket offensive rebound and defensive rebound kind of player to start taking people off the dribble and working outside. No, she doesn't have that in her game. She can get that.
Yeah.
But like, it's just not there right now.
Yeah, she's got mismatch ability from being able to face up. But the problem is that a lot of the plays they run are from her on the elbow. Yeah. Now, granted, I've seen her as a big guard in high school be able to command the offense and be able to take small guards to the rim because she has that ability. She's a pro now. So it's like the guard's a lot quicker, a lot craftier. And so, like, she's a mismatch. I mean, you're either going to have to put if somebody's too small, then they're going to be too small for her. If they too big, then she's going to have to wiggle around them. And, I just find it so weird. Like, why in the world are we comparing Angel Reese and Kendrick Clark? They are completely two different players. Yeah. Two different styles of play.
Two completely different positions.
Angel Reese don't even shoot.
Yeah.
Like since it's high school. But, like, she was number 1 ranked without having to shoot jump shots. So, yeah, I found it super crazy. And then it's in the same breath, I think people are like expecting Caitlin Clark to be something that she wasn't. I watched her in college, and first thing I was able to notice is that she can shoot the ball. Yeah. But it's like the Trae Young effect, or like the Curry effect, where it's like she's crafty with the ball. But because she has the ability to shoot so well, that's what gets her open. You know what I mean? It's not like she's Kyrie that can, off of a line dribble, just break you down and get somewhere with a rock. Because it's super quick, crafty, and it's got moves on moves on moves. No. I mean, she dribbles standing up, and you've got crazy gifted guards off the dribble in the W and crazy quick defenders in the W. What makes Caitlin good is, like I said, because she can shoot, her hezzy is going to already free her up to get to the basket. Yeah. Her sidestepping, little crossover, whatever, because you're playing so tight, that's going to allow her to blow by. And, I mean, you saw earlier in the season, she was getting caught up in the mid-range and forcing up a lot of layups because she can't necessarily get by people by quickness. Can't do that. She never had that. Yank, come here in the game. So I think people sometimes expect her to do things that was never her. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, she made an adjustment in the second half of the season, but yeah, I think it's a lot of people that ain't been watching that really tried to expect a lot of things out of them girls. But I mean, salute to them because, like I said, I think they're going to be the catalyst of people changing the game. This whole rookie class. I mean, before she went down, Cameron Brinks was doing it. Rakia Jackson's nice too. Yeah. There's a lot of talent that's coming. Of course, Paige has been one of my favorite players to watch for a long time. She got a super crispy game. I really like watching her play. No wasted motion, just to her spot, step back, side steps, mid range. She's a true guard, but the truth, we all know what the truth is. Yeah.
Aja is ridiculous, bro.
Yeah, Aja's OD. MVP.
Like
Or Asia. I'm sorry.
Yeah. If she doesn't get an MVP, that's genuinely something wrong.
Nah. She's OD. Like, what she was able to do this year, OD. But she's a complete walking. Like, if we're talking about walking mismatch, like, face up, you too small. Like, you too slow. Bink, bink.
Yeah.
Like,
and then I could.
mid range is nice.
Yeah, and I can hit the 3
You
too.
know what I'm saying? Yeah, she's got it. No wasted movement. She just gets there. Like, she finds a way to get a good look at the basket. And she plays defense. I think she, like, almost every category, bro. Rebounds, points, blocks. Like, she's OD.
She genuinely, I'm not gonna lie, she genuinely, like.
And two-time champ.
She genuinely looks like she's, like.
She's just, like,
she's
God
so,
mode out
yeah,
there.
like, it looks. She looks like she's so much better than everybody else.
Not
she
like,
plays against.
it's not even,
It's ridiculous.
like, yeah, she's OD.
But she's averaging 30 points.
Like,
What are we talking about, bro?
Like-
She's literally averaging 30 points as we speak.
led league rebounds and blocks, too.
Yeah.
It's OD. Field goal percentage is good, too, with triple team, double team. Like, yeah, she's
She's actually shooting amazing.
No, yeah, like triple teams, double teams. Yeah, excuse you. Footwork, she's got it. Like it's there. Yeah, like she's on another level. Plays with intensity. I mean, that's a South Carolina product too. So I mean, a lot of talent comes out of South Carolina too. Year in, year out. I mean, it's normally them in UConn over the last couple of years with like when it comes to women's basketball. But there is a lot of talent that's starting to emerge. I mean, a lot of people talk about Juju.
Yeah.
The point guard at Notre Dame. She super talented. I think she. I don't know if she ended up leading rookie freshman in steals, but she was getting buckets this year too. And I don't even want to do her a disservice by mispronouncing her joint. But
Did she have like 51 games?
yeah, Hidalgo. Juju have it.
Yeah.
She OD. Juju's OD. Yeah, she Hidalgo's ACC Tournament MVP, ACC Rookie of the Year, ACC Defensive Player of the Year, and she's like, yeah, she's 5'6", dude. No, she was like OD, like 2K. Like some of the steals she was getting this past year in college, like, bro, like she was averaging like 1.6 steals a game. It was OD. Yeah, crazy amount. Of Don Staley Award, Naismith Defensive of the Year semifinalist, Nancy Lieberman top finalist, Wooden Award finalist. Like, bro, yeah, OD. All right, so she had 23 points a game, 5 assists a game, 160 steals, 35 double-figure games, 35 consecutive double-figure scoring games. Yeah, she was tough. So I think there's a lot of talent coming in. Obviously, when you're a small guard, that's gonna be the biggest hindrance on you. I mean, if you look at the W, man, a lot of the guards there are like 5'9" minimum. Like, you don't really have too many small guards. You have a couple of them that can make it happen. Like my Nigerian sister, Ogumowale, she's killing it. But the wings weren't. I don't know. They had such an up and down season, but she's tough. She's OD. She's OD to guard. Arike, yeah, she's super tough to guard. But yeah, the W. I mean, I gotta salute them. Of course, Juju, she's coming.
Yeah.
I mean, Angel 6'3", Juju 6'3", but like she got it. Like, midi, off the dribble, crafty. Like, she's... And,
That's
and
who
they
they really going to have to compare to Caitlin Clark.
and like, this year, bro, she was working with DeRozan, working
Yeah.
with Paul George. No.
It's about to get crazy.
She's cold. Like, bro, nah.
She actually, like... She's what people think Caitlin Clark is.
No, yeah.
Not to discredit Caitlin Clark.
Not to discredit at all.
But it's just... She has the bag that people think
No,
Caitlin
yeah.
Clark has.
Athleticism.
Yeah.
Like, and she got everything.
Yeah.
Like pace, like moves, like I'm seeing her play basket to basket, face up. She's coming off Iverson screens, down screens, like isolation, like
Yeah.
too small. Watch out, shoot over you.
Triple that work. Like, she's...
Yeah, she got 3 more years. She gonna be OD. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like that's another thing too when it comes to women's games, that like you have to be so consistent for so long.
Yeah.
Because you can have a good year in the men's game and get out. And then like maybe never live up to the expectations that we had on you. But you had to be so consistent. Like Paige, she messed up her knee. So like a lot of stuff goes wrong with a lot of, because you're in school so long and maybe you don't necessarily have that drive anymore. And you got to kind of really like fall in love with the process, I think, in the women's game. So yeah, it's a lot. But hey, shout out to them. I don't know though. I think the sky kind of fell apart though. Shout out to Angel and them. I don't know. They kind of fell apart. to the end of the year because I don't know if they were just trying to chase Angels awards or whatever because I don't think they in the playoffs. So it is what it is. NFL's back too. Been watching, of course, a lot of these college teams get slaughtered in the early part of the year.
Tapping in and out.
I ain't really. I mean, I've been peeping the parlays. Of course, Colorado's getting a lot of attention. Yeah. But there's a lot of good college teams this year, I think.
Clemson, they're usually good.
Yeah.
Like Clemson and Alabama are usually like the ridiculous guys, but they just played State the other day and put an absolute.
They beat the brakes off them.
Yes. And with all due respect, like the final score wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
But they were beating them 45-3 in the first half.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, there's been a lot of high scoring games in football.
Yeah. And like State is one of those schools like they're always solid at football.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy to me like how good Alabama and like those Clemsons and like those.
I will say that's one thing. Since they shuffled up the conferences, there's actually a little bit more talent. I mean, of course, Georgia, really good too. There's a lot of good teams, I think, this year.
Texas usually good.
Yeah.
I've been peeping Arch Manning.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, he's tough.
Yeah.
Shador has been looking crazy. Travis Hunter always. I'm not gonna lie. Travis Hunter is like he's a beast at every level, bro. He's genuinely like a freak.
I mean, hopefully, he just puts more size on him. Yeah. Because them receivers in the league is
it's gonna get different.
Yeah, and they athletes. I mean, he's a highlight. He's a highlight, walking highlight for sure. Even they had the other game the other day. I think I was Baylor. I think it was where they came back. They were down like 14 with like the fourth quarter and came back and. There was literally an opportunity of Baylor to win it, and Travis Hunter, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that was crazy. And he did a little celebration, so yeah, I think that's pretty crazy. Even keeping things entertainment, of course. WWE's been going crazy. I ain't gonna lie, I've been locked in.
I just watched the promo that Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. Speaking of in Atlanta, I forgot. Speaking of college football, I forgot Roman Reigns he was knocking heads off at Georgia Tech. You know what I mean? Even what's it called? The Steiners. So their son, Braun Breaker. Yep. Whose son is that?
Scott Steiner.
I think it's Scott's son or Scott's nephew. Anyways, he's the son of one of the Steiners. Yeah. He right now is Intercontinental Champion. He played in the NFL for a little bit with the Ravens and RG3. But there's another one. This Scott Steiner's sons that plays for I want to say Bama or one of them schools, but yeah, he's doing it too right now. Well, college football. So, but yeah, WWE they've been doing it. Yeah, I saw the promo they did with Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. I guess they're supposed to be fighting against Solo and everything. So, I will say WWE is definitely on an uptick right now. They doing a lot. I know that in the next year or so they're supposed to have John Cena supposed to be on his way out. Yeah. The Rock said he might make a return. Course, but I think like the way they're building up a lot of the new young stars, I mean like Braun Breaker, I mean even a lot of people talk about speaking of, we were talking about color all day. A lot of people talk about the racism in the WWE and stuff like that, but I mean there's a lot of like young guys, the men of color that's doing it. I mean they got in the NXT, they got what's the bro's name? Nigerian. Damn, I don't know why his name just escaped me. But anyways, the young black brother, Carmelo Hayes, he's been getting a lot of TV time, young dude. Even Naomi in the women's division, of course, Bianca and Jade Cargill. They've been, Jade tough too. And but yeah, they've been getting a lot of TV time. So I would say that's been a good thing. They've been giving a lot of the men of color. Even Apollo Creed now getting some TV time on SmackDown. In the Raw division, of course. Of course, the LWO, all the Hispanics. I mean, they're doing it right now. Yeah, they're getting big time TV from Damian Priest all the way down to Dirty Dom and Rey Mysterio and the whole rest of the LWO. They're getting a lot of TV time. So I will say they have, I think, allowed an opportunity for a lot of more diversity. Of course, you still got Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods still doing it too. People of color too. So I mean, I think this while people are talking smack, I mean, there's still a lot of dudes right now that's doing it. What's his name? All right, Obafemi. That's right. He's an NXT North American champion too, a Nigerian dude. So I mean, this dude's
they definitely.
They showing love this year. I mean, to a lot of. So I mean, I know that's the allegations, but I mean, it looks like. I mean, you can only do so much anyway.
Yeah.
Like, everybody can only get so much love. I mean, they get like everybody from like every corner of the world, though. I think right now, I love Gunter. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
And that dude is just a perfect savage.
beast.
He's a perfect savage. I love. But there was even a clip when they're in Canada. I think it was last week or something like that. They were in Canada, and they brought out Bret Hart. And like, there's been a couple tapes that recently came out of Bret Hart explaining like his downfall and his career, and he's basically he hates Goldberg.
Yeah, absolutely. Hates
And Gunther was like, "Yo, I know everybody in the crowd basically likes you, and then you were one of my favorites, but my number one favorite was Bill Goldberg." And I felt like that was so funny, bro. Gunther is amazing. Called him dude street trash.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's amazing. Like I love watching it. I remember we went to Raw and that dude literally insulted Sami Zayn and was like, "Bro, you look like all these people in the crowd." Like, I just love how his character comes off, man. Super smug. I love that dude, man. I root for him for sure. Of course, Roman Reigns is back. He's OD. He's Thanos.
Yeah.
Like, when Roman Reigns gets on the screen, you just gotta. I'm so mad that we went there. I didn't get to catch him. I got to catch Cody Rhodes person, but nah, I didn't get to catch Roman Reigns. I ain't gonna lie. And I saw something I was thinking about the other day for real. Something that, like, you know, going back to the whole celebrity thing, I don't think I'm not really like a fan of a lot of people. I support, you know, anybody. Like, I mean, this was my boy, my brothers. Anybody doing their thing, you do your thing. I'm not like the whole, I'm a geek out over it. First of all, I said to say this because in the back of my head, like I saw there was a video of like Duke Dennis was in Charlotte not long ago.
Yeah.
And like, he was in some club and they showed it was dead doing pull-ups.
Yeah.
To try to like kiss dude. It's like, I can't never get to that point where I have no shame over somebody that just like,
The regular person.
you know what I'm saying? Because we all like people in the end of the day.
Yeah, and we're literally in the same spot right now.
No, yeah, like same building.
Yeah.
And you're like, you wilding like that. It's just crazy.
And the thing about it is like, what do you?
What you think was gonna get into that?
Yeah, like you're only gonna get looked at as a spectacle for doing
Oh yeah.
spectacular thing. Like
That's like insane work. Nah, like yeah. But I thought about it. Like I never like. I'll salute, like support, like hey, look, you know, congratulations on all you've done in your field and your endeavor. But I feel like no matter what, like whether you're in the entertainment business, like I feel like would you feel the same way about somebody who's like a manager or like a vice president?
You wouldn't feel that way about anybody. Like the same dude that I'm listening to his music every day, and I'm like, oh dang, I'm seeing him in a concert. He wouldn't be like, oh, that's Kai. He wouldn't. Like he would not care.
No.
I feel like it's crazy to just be like, walk up to somebody and be like, oh, drool over them because of their job. I mean, I get it because like, you're put on a big stage, but it's like.
That's what I'm saying. I think that only exists in the entertainment world. Because like I said, like I could say in my, like walking in the path of business that I walked in and sales and everything, I meet people that do tremendous. Like I said, I watched a show that was literally like top of the top in like DC world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, I geeked out over like the content and everything like that, but like I still like, we're still people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I just, like that's dope because like, there's like creative side that I think it speaks to who I am as a person, and I think that I've had all these experiences, particularly with comics and everything like that. So like being able to meet somebody like that was cool, and like I could even speak to like my how connected I am with like sports.
Yeah.
And I met some like big athletes. I have plenty of friends that are like, you know, playing pro or doing or whatever, and it's just like I just know like. And even looking at that, there's like times like, bro, I remember we were just sitting down playing video games or whatever, and like you're doing your thing, but like, I don't know, I have friends that are like business owners, and so it's just like, I don't know, like the same way you geek over this person that just because they're have celebrity status, people do that, like people that might not have like $1 to their name, just because they have like a bunch of followers, they're like, oh my gosh, that's so, it's like,
And I think that like
I don't know.
We got to stop playing into this facade.
No, yeah.
As people, because it's like, bro, we're all just people at the end of the day. Like that's why I don't be buying into that. People be trying to act bougie because they got followers, whatever.
No.
Whatever they have. It's like, bro, at the end of the day, that's cool.
No, yeah.
These people are fans of you. I'm not.
No, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like these people are coming to you to see whatever you're posting
No, yeah.
or whatever. They're here for your content. I'm not. I'm not no fan. You
No,
know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Trying to get to know you as a person.
Yeah. Or whatever we're doing. Or,
No, yeah.
You know, whatever the interaction is. Like,
No, yeah.
I'm not your fan.
Yeah,
I'm
like
a
salute.
human. Yeah.
But like, nah.
Like
Like,
respect, and I show support, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, this is not the entertainment industry. Like, we don't have to keep it this type of facade, and that's how
No.
like, that industry revolves, and that's how it goes.
Uh-huh. Because they have to be larger than life.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people are just conflating the two. Like, I think just because you have any type of status or you have any type of presence on a social media
Yeah.
thing or whatever, you have to be a larger than life type of persona, which you don't.
Yeah.
You can just be exactly what you are.
No. But that's what I think. Like, and I think social media has aided in that. Because like you say, let's just say, for example, there's plenty of men and women, I think, that have followers for whatever reason and may feel like they are, and I hate to say somebody because we're all somebody to somebody, but they feel like they're holier than thou or that you're beneath them because why? I have followers. And sometimes it's like in a lot of women's cases, it's like you just have people that follow you because you show that thing on camera. And that's it. We don't care about none of the other stuff you're talking about, shorty. Throw it in a circle and then we go about our business. But you think that like people are fans of you? And like let's say you do have fans.
Yeah.
Again,
You know what
that's
they're
that's just customers or whatever for your business. You are a self-employed individual. What would be the difference of, like I said, you at the top pinnacle? I don't even say like top pinnacle. Like realistically, if you look at it like that, like most people are not. Like I would say you have like Drake and Chris Brown and something like that. If you would look at the top of the game, Kendrick Lamar, stuff like that. But then it's like, you know, everybody else, like y'all not that. Like you're doing good for yourself. Maybe making more money than somebody else. But then, like I said, in the other world, you have in the corporate world, you have people that are vice presidents and, you know, CEOs and presidents, and it's like, are we looking at them the same way?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When like most of the time, they're the ones making more money than the people that are, you know, we're holding in high esteem.
Yeah.
Like, and I could even go, and I did name drop shorty, but I find it so interesting that, like, for example, like a woman like Brittany Renner just went on like online and was up there, you know, with her job and everything, talking about how now she's giving her life to Islam, and hey, look, congratulations to her if that is legitimate.
Yeah.
Like I say, I feel like some people do some sick and twisted things in order to gain fame. And Brittany Renner, she seems like maybe her heart's in the right place. She's obviously a smart woman. I think she's plenty talented, but she went on a rant talking about how she doesn't know how she's going to keep her funds floating when it's like you built your following for the last 10 years off of you showing that thing.
Yeah.
How do you not have a skill that can gain you money? Granted, you probably have been living in excess because you feel like this is the life I deserve.
Yeah.
And I mean, driving around, like she made a video like in a Mercedes. So it's like, I don't know if I necessarily believe what you're talking about.
It's a little out of touch.
You know what I mean? And it's like, you also created a life, and when you're living, well, I don't care what you got to say, you're living off the backs of the people that you have been tied to dating. So you probably have been living a life of luxury because I think she was from I listened to her talk on podcasts plenty of times. She's like from a small town, and she came to Cali because she was dating a high profile person. And then from there, it just kind of led to her connecting with plenty of other high profile people, which ended up keeping her name in business. And then early social media days allowed her an opportunity to showcase herself and become a brand. So I don't knock it because, you know, I think the opportunity is available to anybody. But it's like you have created this monster that is probably in some form materialistic. So now you don't have the money. Well, I don't want to say the money because I don't know what her bank account looking like. But I'm just going off of what she said. I just think it's weird because I said, like I said, if I were to see her, I would see her, but I don't see her as like, this is like, I wouldn't see anybody as like that kind of person. Like Chris Brown, probably one of my favorite artists. Dope. And I guess it'd be rare to see somebody like Chris Brown on a day-to-day.
Yeah.
But salute, you cool, you talented. And I want to break it against to an even slate. Let's just say I don't even know who I would compare Duke Dennis to. Like just like a Ruby Rose, I don't know, like a random shorty that's like popping online.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like I can be doing pull-ups to kiss Ruby Rose.
I wouldn't.
That's crazy work. I
Rose.
I've been in. I think about it now. I've been in. Let's just say I've been on plane trips where I've met women that have plenty of following. Like I remember I was in Atlanta and I was like right next to Lotto's sister.
Yeah.
Like they having a good time. We having a good time. We had some good time. A couple of her friends vibing, dancing. But like, I don't know. I like can bring myself to like lose my mind in front of somebody. I don't know. Like it's just something I always thought of. It's so strange how we had like celebrity worship culture. I think that's been ingrained in us nowadays. And I think that just ties back to everything we were talking about, like how a lot of people will expect these people to have such high moral grounding. And I remember I said I was talking to this girl on Instagram, and like she was reposting like Ice Spice and the whole I guess what she was having like a prayer with like Tyla, and people were saying she was doing some weird things while they were praying. Yeah. And then she was like, I can't believe that we hold all these celebrities to these standards, and we as people of faith, we need to do better. She went on this whole rant. And I was like, shorty, first of all, we lost as people if we're supposed to be, let's just say, Christians, and the person that we're looking to for Christianity is Ice Spice. What are we doing? Yeah. And like, granted, we don't know Ice Spice in her personal life, but that's the second problem. It's like, if at the end of the day, like if you're religious, you're not supposed to be looking at any person as an example of where you would live or what would be the measure of your moral high ground. Mm-hmm. I think that'd be the problem behind a lot of people's criticisms of religion in itself, or even just like immorality of itself. It's like we're always comparing it to, oh, well, this person or that person, or who are you would talk about this because you do this. Yeah. That should not matter because there is an absolute on where morality sits. And that's another like combo, but there's an absolute where morality sits, even if you're not religious. And it'll be like, bro, if your moral high ground is here, then that's what you should be basing it off of, not of what somebody else is doing. Because at the end of the day, as humans, we're all gonna fail. But yeah, that's something I could get into forever, bro. But I always think that it's like so funny to me. And I think we just live in a culture of just people just looking to doubt everything that people are doing, and then also just looking to find a way to either tear someone down or, like I said, just a lot of people have no identity in life too. So I think that they create an identity based off of whoever they see online or the people that they value, or they believe these people are, or they believe like they lack self-worth of their own. Like I think that's what it is too. Like social media, if you look at it like likes and everything like that, a lot of people connect their own self-worth to what they see online. But I don't know. Like, I wasn't nobody when I'm out on these streets, but online I got all these likes, so I'm somebody now. I don't know. It's weird, man. I don't know. That's why I kind of fear for the future of society, because who knows where everything might head into. I'll just do a quick. What would you do before we head out? What would you do if you woke up in the morning and you found out you were 6 years old again? And I'm guessing that means that you would have like your existing knowledge.
Okay.
I know I'm running my life completely differently.
I mean, like, do I get to like start over? Or? Hold on.
Because I was thinking about it, like the whole, like, you know, the whole like multiverse thing. Yeah. I'm like, because I feel like a lot of what I've done in life helped me gain the wisdom. But I guess it is, do I have the wisdom that I have today? Like it's one thing to have the know-how. Like, oh, if I was 6 years old and I could, like, you know, speak and write and read and I had like mathematical knowledge that I have today? Or is it I just restart at 6 years old? Because I feel like obviously there's plenty of experiences I would I don't know. But then like, dang, that's the whole thing. Because then it's like, if, let's just say, I don't know, I crashed my car when I was like, younger. Knowing that I crashed my car, or let's just say, the example of, boom, you touch the stove and it's hot. And now you say, I'm never going to touch the stove again. So do I have that type of knowledge with me to say, okay, I went through this event, and because this event did teach me something, do I avoid that event when if I were to go back in time?
Yeah.
Just because I know what it will turn into, or do I not know that me going through that event actually led to me learning something? I guess that's the circular thinking I'm having in regards to if I would go back. But I would say short answer, if I could go back and I had the same knowledge I had today, I'm doing everything. I'm doing a lot of things differently.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
I think like that's always the issue when you get into those like
Yeah.
hypothetical time travel conversations. Because like, if you were to go back in time and to change anything,
Your whole life will go different.
Exactly. Like your whole entire life and being is a completely different reality.
No,
You're nowhere near the same person you were. You just shot yourself into a completely different multiverse. But yeah, I think that's the issue when you like run into that like hypothetical time travel conversation, because it's like if you change one thing from the past, everything in the future is gonna dramatically and drastically change. Like your entire reality is a completely different thing now.
Yeah.
So I think I don't know. Like I would want to change certain things, like certain events. I would just skip them because, like you said, if we're going through with like the hypothetical that I have the knowledge and I gained the wisdom already from the lesson, I don't really need to go through the thing because I already have the knowledge. But then again, it's like we could think of that hypothetical. We take it a little deeper and be like, well, you already had the knowledge and wisdom, to be honest. Anyways, people told you that you was going. They told you it was gonna happen. You did it anyways. So it's like, is it this thing of where we just need the knowledge, or is it this thing that we need the experience too? Because 99% of our life, and just for me, this is just the experience. Like, you know what I mean?
I've been thinking about that too, though, because I be like, people would say like, bro, you learn when you do.
Yeah.
Is that true?
I think so.
I think it's only in certain experiences, because like nobody had to tell me not to like do some heroin.
I mean, yeah, like obviously there's certain things that's like you know, like you just be like, okay, that's just like the risk for that.
Yeah,
is
the risk
like,
is crazy.
It's crazy. I cannot, even if I want to try experience for myself, like it's crazy.
Like driving a car off a cliff. I wouldn't.
You know what I'm saying? Like certain things is like the risk reward is just, the ratio is completely off. But
yeah, there's certain things I think you got.
I feel like just about anything you had to experience it. Like for those super those events that are anomalies, people have already. I feel like
you've seen enough. You've seen enough where it went wrong.
Exactly.
So you're like, I don't want to risk that.
Right.
It's like jumping out of a plane with no parachute.
Yeah.
Like, if I jump out with a parachute, like some people that had no problem, there's some people that had. So like, do I want to take that risk versus do I want to take the risk of just not jumping out with no parachute at all? It's like I pretty much know how this is gonna end.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I think so. I think you're right. Like I said, there's plenty of things that probably parents, and like even if you look at, like I said, going back to like the whole religion or even just like history has showed you, like, well, if you do this is probably what's gonna happen.
Yeah, and it's like it's just as humans, we for some reason we just think we know better than life itself, and we just think that we're just so up here that we're.
I mean, if you even look at it, like even the religion thing, like Adam and Eve, it's just like I'm home.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
even though you told me like it's gonna happen, I'm gonna try this anyway.
Yeah, like that is human nature. Like curiosity genuinely killed the cat. Like for some reason, we always have to try everything. We have to see everything for ourselves.
If it works, it works. If it don't, oh man.
And that's the downfall of people. Sometimes you just have to believe people.
Yeah.
You just have to genuinely trust what people say.
Yeah.
You cannot do everything for yourself.
Yeah, I kind of agree there. I agree with that.
You can't lean on your own understanding.
So then if time machines existed, then what would be the first thing you would do?
Nothing, honestly.
Right.
Like, I think if I was to use a time machine, it would just to be on like observational standpoint. Like I would only want to see certain events and just go look
Yeah,
at things. Like,
I want to see the dinosaurs.
yeah, like I would want to see the dinosaurs. I would want to go back to the biblical times. I would want to
Yeah.
know certain things. Like
What
I want to see what they did with
you want to
the
do? What would you want to do during the biblical time?
I'm just peeping. I'm just observing. Like, I'm not.
Let's get
You know what I'm
cranked.
saying? Like I'm not. Like when people not like when black people be like, oh, I want to go back to this time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going.
Yeah.
I'm not partaking in anything.
Nah,
Like,
people-
I'm strictly observing, bro.
The people that be like, man, life was so fun in the 30s.
No.
it was not.
Yeah, no.
In the 1950s, it was not fun for
No.
you. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know, like I'm
No, yeah.
making sure I'm in one of them things where they can't see me. Like I'm
Nah.
veiled, bro. No.
Okay, yeah, but you just kind of like everybody can walk through you
Yeah.
type of deal.
Or
Nah,
like I'm
yeah,
in
yeah.
some type of machine or some
Yeah,
type
where
of
I
thing.
can't, like, yeah, I can't
Canopy
get
or
got.
something, bro.
No, yeah, I definitely want to see the dinosaurs. I
Yeah.
think that would be like crazy trippy.
Yeah. I think I would purely just observe. I can't
That's crazy.
partake because
Dinosaurs really like existed and like we just believe it. And like yeah, we have like science and like
Yeah.
history, but like they don't really know.
no. But that and I think that's an interesting thing about like a majority of historical things. Like,
Yeah.
we don't have any real evidence of a lot of this stuff.
George
we just
Washington.
have he say, she say. Yeah, like people would be like, well, you can't prove Jesus existed. You can't prove Julius Caesar and a lot of
Nah.
these people existed. But for some reason, you believe that it
Nah.
did. You know what I'm saying? There's enough context and enough
Yeah.
evidence for certain. It's like for some of these people's lives, like the only thing that we have backing their existence is the fact that somebody said, "I was with bro this day."
No,
Like,
yeah.
that's what it be.
And I mean, like you said, literally every is like the way we annotate history is like is that. Like,
Yeah.
we have some other source to verify that yeah, this person was here.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we evaluate all history. So like before they were even having pictures or were able to write things down, they had to scribe on a tablet.
yeah,
Just had word of mouth and people being able to say this, and that, and the third. Because did slavery exist?
yeah,
I mean, what I'm saying and obviously there's plenty of things that are obtuse to it because I mean you can point to plenty of events in history that there's a lot of historical events behind it. But like even like I said, if you talk about like the Christianity thing, I mean it's a lot. There's more evidence pointing to that than there is to like let's say plenty of like let's say their founding fathers. Like you know
Yeah.
there's more evidence there than there is that. But like people will unanimously accept. Yeah, no, there was there. George Washington, yeah. But like. Even like if you go down to like the whole was it George Washington chopped down a tree?
Yeah.
Whatever it is like that didn't really happen. Well like people say like George Washington had like wood teeth, that wasn't a real thing. But if enough people can say it,
you know what I'm saying? Like that's what history is.
No, yeah.
Essentially, like if I say it and nobody else
nah.
contest it at all, like that's what it is.
Nah. And I think that's just kind of what it is. Like until you get more and more scientific ways in order to try and affirm or some of these events, or we learn more and more. Like, I mean, we thought at one point dinosaurs were standing up a certain way, and then we figured out, okay, actually, based on if you align the skeleton like this, we find a couple more bones, maybe they stood like this. And then, actually, some of them actually might have had feathers. You know what I'm saying? So it's like only as dang, and this some so crazy. Like our minds are so limited because we only know what we know today.
Exactly.
There was a point in time when people thought the world was flat. So it's like only like who knows like the things that we know today. Like in 100 years, everybody might be like, "That was so dumb." They thought that.
But like that'd be my thing with like all of this. When you have to question the one thing where you have to question everything, because like we are all basing our system and our basis of knowledge just off of what some nigga said years and years and years and years and years and years and years ago. Like, who is to say that our conceptualization of any of this is genuinely correct?
Yeah.
There's nothing.
How do we live? How are we even living in reality right now?
Yeah, like we've just tweaked every equation and everything just to make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like we have whole systems of math just to make it equal on each
And
side.
like you said, like
even when
we've
it's
been
not.
able to disprove our own like math. At
Yeah.
one point. So it's like
And a lot of our things in science, or our laws or whatever
Yeah.
in science, are completely theoretical. It's
Yeah.
just you haven't seen a lot of scientific contest and arguments for real or debates within a lot of these things because we don't have the evidence, we don't have the tools to observe some of these things, and we just can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
just like I said, a lot of that stuff, and I think that's like, like purposefully like done that way because
yeah,
who's to say, like, if we were, like for example, like a lot of people don't believe time travel is possible.
Mm-hmm.
Who's to say that, I don't know, in 1,000 years, if humanity's that, goes that long, somebody's able to figure out that there actually are ways that we can enter different streams or be able to jump into, or we're able to conceptualize time differently.
Yeah, I think
speed differently.
I think time travel is very possible. Like, I don't think it's possible, like right now, whatever. But I think our concept of what time travel is just completely skewed. I don't think we
just pushing a button. And
like I think we have a very cinematic concept of what time travel is. I think it's more so, like, when you see those movies where like people's like consciousness will shift over to it's more so like something like that.
You jumping onto different wavelengths and understanding. I think that it'll probably be something similar to that. Like I said, our whole idea behind how we understand time and space and speed and light, that might adjust down the line too. We could do more deep dives into what that is. You know what I mean? So it is so crazy. But I say, like, I feel like we've been purposefully limited because imagine if we knew everything.
We'd be cooked.
Nah. Like, imagine people knew what it was like, or like what dinosaurs were, or, like if they knew everything about dinosaurs, or they knew everything about like history, or if they knew like that's crazy. Like, I don't know. Because then what would our existence be like on Earth if everybody knew everything?
I think it would be very chaotic because like everything would be just in vain. Like, everybody would be privy to the fact that they're living in vain. And
we would have no purpose. So
Exactly.
imagine if everybody knew how to heal themselves. Everybody knew like how to like stick. Man. Yeah, it'd be a lot of.
But I don't know though,
because there still have to be a teacher.
Not really, because like I think like a lot of these systems and things, like we wouldn't need it. Like a lot of this is just a feeble attempt at understanding life, and it's like if we understood it, we wouldn't need a lot of this, and we would genuinely like we wouldn't allow a lot of this stuff to transpire. It would be a completely different plane.
Like, even going along that same thought process, I think that, like you said, I think a lot of the world that we particularly live in, and I could say regionally that we live in, the states that we live in, the country we live in, a lot of that is just based in a society that's gone through its own trial and error.
Yeah.
Because if you look at history, there's plenty of different societies, plenty of different government styles, plenty of different rulers and ways that they've been able to rule, and we're able to look at it through a different lens and be able to, okay, maybe that went right, maybe that went wrong, and we could try this way in order to adapt with the times.
Yeah.
Because while something might have worked a while back, now we live in a different time where different things looked at different. Like if you look at like dating is not the same as it was 100 years ago. Because like we even talked about how people are able to connect to each other with a touch of a button. You might have just been the prettiest in your city, or the most handsome in your city, the most handsome in your town, and you could just choose the cream of the crop from there. Yeah. But now you have other ways that people are able to measure up. You may have been the strongest caveman and the best hunter and gatherer a while back, but now you got the other guys that couldn't necessarily match up in regards to physical attributes. They can find other ways, charisma, money, etc., etc. So, like, it's skewed the dating game. So I think that, like, under that same lens, it's just like the society that we live in, I think, adjust how we see the world. Because like I was talking about the other day, like, I feel like I lived in like let's say I was like moving let's say if you was living in a third world country. The way you look at things today, like, man, I gotta work, I gotta pay these bills, I gotta have this nice house, I gotta have a nice apartment, a nice car. Yeah. You would just be like, man, I just thankful to have this and be good. You know, so like I was talking to Uncle about it, and he was talking about like how he finally moved out of Oakland downtown. He was like, bro, it's just like my head was just, bro, I was in a village in Nigeria, and now I'm in America. I'm in California. So like, regardless of what's going on, the things that are occurring on a day-to-day basis, this is still a better scenario than it, you know what I'm saying, where I was at. So I don't know. I think it's just like, bro, something I was thinking about, like, I've been seeing Jay West, like, you know, in Thailand. He's always hitting me up, telling me, man, you got to come out here. I'm like, you know what? I feel like it's just a more simpler life, because like he's out there, he's able. Obviously, he's a little more celebrity out there or whatever, but he's able to live a simpler life. I would assume, like, you're not just like even him playing a professional basketball over there is different than him playing professional basketball over here because like you kind of are lauded in a different light. Like you can't be like, you know what I'm saying, that's like a pro hooper over here.
And be regular.
Yeah, you kind of got to move differently. The woman are going to expect certain things of you. Like people around you might expect certain things over there. He just goes over there and just able to just explore.
Yeah.
Like life over there and just be able to do things he likes to do. And like how you view life is different than like you being in the riffraff over here where, man, you got to invest and you got to do this and you got to do this. It's just different, bro. And that's, I don't know. I'll leave that with y'all. We got a good little yap session at the end, man. Just kind of laying out my thoughts. I'm going to try to start bringing more and more pods to you. I know I keep saying that, but I'm going to try to get on the schedule, man. Life be lifing, man. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody going to watch these videos and you know what I'm saying, I put them on the audios and y'all like them, then we could bring them more to you. But nah, for real, we're going to definitely try to keep bringing the content for sure. Got a lot to talk about. Yeah. You probably, like I said, if y'all want to hear more about, like, you know, day-to-day life, everything like that, more content coming. Stay locked. Welcome to the crew.
Peace.